Good morning, Faith Baptist Church. And as the title of this video says, I have a special announcement for you all. And that's the very good news that we're going to be opening up again next week. On June 7th, we are going to be gathering for those who are comfortable at this church once again to worship the Lord for times of music, for times of teaching. And I'm really excited that we get to do that. Why now? Well, as many of you know, the state of California finally has allowed places of worship to open up again. But with that, they've given a lot of guidelines about safety, and we're still trying to figure out some of the details of what that's going to look like specifically. But the elders and I met this last week and felt that some of the requirements that we wanted to see happen before we came back together to meet have been fulfilled. Now, what were those? Well, one was we want to be in compliance with what our governing authorities have instructed us to do, as long as there's not a biblically compelling reason to not. And so with them allowing us to open up again, we want to open up. Two, we want to keep the congregation safe. Well, with us as a county having been open now for the month of May, and we still don't have any cases, and from what it looks like is even when we do get some cases, the county has some plans in place to contact trace and to be able to isolate, and there seems to be an expectation of public safety right now. So with those things in place and with the testimony of the church to the outside world not really being risked by us meeting again, and if you're wondering what I mean by that is you can watch the sermon I did about why we were remaining closed from a few weeks back. So with the criteria we laid out, the elders and I feeling are mostly satisfied, at least satisfied as enough, we are reopening. Now, with that, we are going to have to do a few things in order to stay safe and to be smart. And one of those things is just an encouragement to you that if you're sick or someone from your family, particularly kids are sick, don't come. Don't bring illness into the church right now. I know sometimes we like to think, well, it's just a cold, it's not a big deal. With these times of uncertainty, we need to be particularly vigilant in protecting those around us. So when you're not coming, what you're doing is you're showing love to the people in the church by not wanting to share whatever it is you have. So that's the first thing. If you're sick, don't come. If you're sick and you come, we're probably going to very kindly and lovingly ask you to go home and get better. So that's the first thing. Now, with this illness, one of the big areas of transmission is through droplets from breathing, through sneezing, and unfortunately through singing. Well, what does that mean for our church? Well, we had some different discussions. Do we want to require people to wear face masks so we can sing? Do we just not sing at all? And really came to realize that neither of those were a great option for our church at this time. But I'm telling you that so that you can be mindful when you come that as much as you might want to just sing and belt it out at the top of your lungs, we might need to bring it down a little bit for a few weeks as we come back together to make sure that we're being safe. So sing, maybe sing a little softer, and I know that that's going to be particularly hard for one of our main worship leaders, Shane, who one of the things we love about him is that he just really brings a lot of energy to it. So not sure how that's all going to play out, but we're going to do the best we can. A second thing that they've been really talking about is kids. For some reason, our state health officials think that kids are really good at spreading illnesses. And so that's a big question for churches. When you bring kids together, they tend to share, including things that we don't want them to share. What are we going to do about that? Well, for the first few weeks of us being open, we're not going to reopen our children's stuff. That means we're not going to have nursery, we're not going to have children's church. And that's one, because what we want to gauge how things are going as we open back up and as we get things going. But our current plan right now is our goal is June 21st, so two weeks after we open up, is to have nursery and children's church rolling again. Now, when we do that, we're going to have some rules and some things we're going to have to do, like temperature checks for children who are going to be a part of those things. But more of those details will come later. But just realize we're going to need to compromise. We need to work together to make sure that the kids are safe, that the church is safe as we come together again. Finally, Sunday school. We're not going to be having Sunday school until August. We're going to get that going again. We're going to take the summer off as it is, and the elders and I are talking about some ideas we have for how to take Sunday school forward, how to make it more effective, how to engage more of the congregation in what we're doing with that. So we're not going to be doing Sunday school for the time being. And that's pretty much all I have to announce on that. We're going to, as I said, next week we're going to be open again, 11 a.m. Sunday morning. We are going to try and have a shorter service again like last time. We're going to see. I had talked before about when we come back resuming the series on John, and I was informed that I need to stick with what we've got and actually finish out some series. So the decision was made that I'm going to go ahead and continue Daniel right now and through the summer, and then once we get through Daniel, hopefully we'll be at a place where we have enough of our congregation back together that we can resume Revelation. And that reminds me, one other thing so you all know, for those who don't feel comfortable joining again in person, we are going to continue to film. I'm going to have the awkward camera set up here in front of the pulpit so that video will be put up to YouTube Sunday afternoons, so that if you miss church, at least you'll get the message wherever you are, whatever's going on. And we are going to attempt to, at least through June, continue to do some study questions. So for those who don't feel comfortable coming in the large group, maybe you might feel comfortable gathering with a few other people, or if you want some reflection questions to help you with your study, those will be made available as well. So hope all that works well. If you have questions, comments, concerns about what this is all going to look like, please call the church office, call me, email me. We're working all of this out as we go along. The deacons are going to be working on some of our policies and procedures for how to keep things clean, what we need to do, and some more information about that will come out later this week. So I just wanted to announce and share with you just the great news, and I'm very excited that we will be worshiping together again next week on the 7th. Look forward to seeing you then.